Sounds unbelievable, but it's completely real. One country, one flag, and a power so massive that almost every nation on Earth must think twice before acting. From military bases across the globe to control over money, media, and technology. America isn't just powerful. America shapes the world. But here's the real question. Why do so many countries feel threatened by the United States? Let's break it down.
In the realm of military power, the United States stands alone as a formidable presence, commanding respect and caution across the globe. It's not merely about having a large army or an arsenal filled with advanced weaponry. Rather, it embodies a comprehensive strategy that integrates cutting-edge technology, strategic positioning, and an undeniable commitment to readiness. The essence of American military strength lies in its global reach, where the mere presence of U.S. forces can deter potential adversaries. Consider the might of an American aircraft carrier. These floating fortresses do not just serve as warships. They symbolize military dominance, capable of projecting power that rivals that of entire nations. Each carrier is equipped with a cadre of advanced fighter jets and naval assets, showcasing a level of operational readiness that can be mobilized rapidly, often within hours. Their presence in crucial maritime regions acts as a stabilizing force and sends a clear message to those contemplating aggression. Furthermore, the United States operates military bases in over 70 countries, ensuring that American military personnel are positioned strategically around the world. This extensive network allows for swift intervention and humanitarian assistance, reinforcing the nation's role as a global leader. This readiness translates into a persistent ability to respond to crises, mitigate threats, and foster international security arrangements. Additionally, advancements in technology have birthed cutting-edge drones and nuclear submarines, pushing the boundaries of conventional warfare and enhancing America's deterrent capabilities. Yet, the potency of this military strength prompts a sense of trepidation among many countries. The knowledge that U.S. military forces can respond to conflict anywhere on Earth within hours creates an atmosphere of uncertainty for those considering provocative actions. America's sheer military reach and its willingness to act unilaterally underscores that such power does not seek permission, but rather mandates respect and cautious diplomacy from nations worldwide. In conclusion, the United States military is not merely a collection of soldiers or weapons. It represents a strategic synthesis of global reach, technological innovation, and unwavering resolve. The implications of this power are profound, affecting international relations and global security dynamics, while serving as a cornerstone for America's role on the world stage. In a landscape rife with uncertainty, this military might stands as both a shield and a sword, redefining the very nature of power in the 21st century. In the complex world of international relations, the notion that America stands alone is a fallacy. As a leader in global geopolitics, the United States forges paths through key alliances such as NATO, where nations band together, sharing philosophies of democracy and collective security. This unity is not just a figment of political maneuvering. It's a strategic framework ensuring that American interests are safeguarded, no matter the challenge posed by rogue states or belligerent actors. The power of alliances lies in their ability to create a formidable front against adversarial nations. When America faces challenges from countries like China, Russia, Iran, or North Korea, it's not merely a bilateral confrontation. These adversaries quickly discover that any aggression directed towards the United States could provoke a collective response involving multiple countries. Such multilateral engagements amplify the risks associated with any hostile actions, as these nations are prepared to act in unison, thus redefining the calculus of war and peace in the 21st century. This interwoven web of alliances has prompted nations to rethink their own military strategies. For instance, China, always vigilant, understands that its aspirations for regional dominance are checked not just by the American superpower alone, but by the coalition of nations that support it. Similarly, Russia's posturing in Eastern Europe is consistently countered by NATO's readiness to respond, which acts as a deterrent to would-be aggressors. The notion of preparing not to strike first, but rather to defend oneself reflects the prevailing wisdom among these rival states. The statistics of international conflict demonstrate that reevaluating one's military posture away from outright confrontation appears to be a pragmatic approach. In a world where consequences can be dire and immediate, Nations like Iran and North Korea engage in a calculated dance, striving for strength while avoiding provocation that would invite collective retaliation. This understanding of America as not standing alone fundamentally shifts how global powers interact. It is a warning to adversaries about the severe repercussions of direct confrontation. As the international landscape evolves, the synergy of alliances continues to shape the global balance of power and deter potential threats, compelling rivals to act cautiously in the face of overwhelming collective strength. In the realm of global power dynamics, many overlook a formidable weapon in the arsenal of nations: currency. Unlike traditional weapons, which explode dynamically, the US dollar operates quietly yet efficiently within the corridors of global finance. The strength of the dollar lies in its position as the world's primary currency. It is not merely a piece of paper. It is the lifeblood of international transactions. Oil, the most sought-after resource, is traded exclusively in dollars, ensuring that every barrel of oil extracted from the Earth's depths translates into greenbacks coursing through global markets. This dollar dependency doesn't end with oil. It weaves through every fabric of international business. From the bustling markets of Asia to the high-tech companies of Silicon Valley, the reliance on dollars dictates economic exchanges. Businesses seeking to expand their reach, investors looking for opportunities, and nations striving to align with global standards find themselves intertwined with the dollar's influence. American rules govern the operations of international banks, creating a landscape where compliance with US regulations becomes not just a necessity, but a lifeline. The reach of these guidelines transcends borders, forcing foreign institutions to align with American interests or risk losing access to lucrative markets. This tight embrace cements the dollar's dominance and solidifies America's role as a key player in global finance. Sanctions serve as a decisive tool, showcasing the dollar's power in chilling clarity. When the US government decides to impose economic restrictions, entire economies can crumble under the weight of financial isolation. Manufacturers, exporters, and everyday citizens who once relied on connections to the global marketplace find themselves cut off, their livelihoods decimated. Unlike the devastation wrought by military strikes, the fallout from financial sanctions can be equally severe, leading to unemployment, poverty, and political upheaval without a shot being fired. This financial authority transforms America into a formidable force, a country that can exert its influence and bend other nations' wills through economic pressure alone. The weight of the dollar is more than a monetary symbol. It is a weapon that shapes geopolitical landscapes, compelling compliance through fear of financial repercussions. As we navigate this complex web of power and finance, it becomes increasingly clear that America's most dangerous weapon is not always found on the battlefield, but in the economic strategies that dictate the ebb and flow of wealth, rendering the nation both powerful and perilous in equal measure. In an age dominated by technology, the devices in our pockets shape our understanding of the world. Each time we glance at our phones, we become players in a vast game directed by major American tech giants such as Google, YouTube, Instagram, Apple, and Microsoft. These platforms are not merely channels of communication. They are architects of the narratives that mold our societal views and cultural norms. The profound influence of these corporations lies in their ability to filter and curate information. As data travels through American systems, it carries not just facts but also curated perspectives. A single story can be spun in countless ways depending on which platform presents it. This means our understanding is often skewed toward the values and biases inherent in these corporations. Their algorithms prioritize certain narratives while silencing others, significantly shaping our collective consciousness. Consider the wider implications of this control. Narratives propagated by American media reach global audiences, influencing opinions and perceptions far beyond the borders of the United States. The voices that dominate are often loud, drowning out smaller, perhaps more diverse perspectives. This skewing leads to a homogeneous view of reality, where power rests with those who own and operate these platforms. The adage, "Whoever controls information controls perception," becomes critically evident in our digital age. Moreover, this perception directly translates to power. The very narratives constructed online can sway public opinion, dictate political climates, and influence consumer behavior. The power to shape conversations, create societal trends, and even alter historical perspectives lies in the hands of a select few. The manipulation of information can serve political agendas or commercial interests, often with little scrutiny from the masses, who remain engaged but unaware of the curated experience they receive. As we navigate this technological landscape, critical engagement becomes essential. It is imperative to recognize the forces at play in shaping our realities. We must question the narratives we encounter and seek out diverse perspectives that challenge the predominant messages. Understanding the dynamics of media control not only empowers individuals, but also fosters a more equitable discourse in society, one that values a mosaic of voices rather than a singular dominant narrative. In the intricate web of global politics, one cannot ignore the looming presence of power, particularly when it comes to America. It is often perceived through a lens of threat, not because of inherent malevolence, but due to the fear that unchecked power instills in nations around the globe. This perception of America is multifaceted, where the ability to exert control over money, weapons, information, and alliances becomes a double-edged sword. Other countries, possessing their own aspirations for independence and autonomy, find themselves in a precarious position as they navigate the influence of a dominant nation. Money is the lifeblood of economies, and when one country holds the reins to global finances, others feel vulnerable. Nations worry about economic strategies that could undermine their stability. The capacity to control loans, sanctions, and aid fosters a climate where fear dictates the behavior of nations. They must sidestep potential economic pitfalls while attempting to align themselves with the interests of the superpower. This constant balancing act creates an environment where friendship takes a backseat to survival, a grim reminder that in the dance of global politics, security often outweighs camaraderie. Weaponry, too, plays a pivotal role in national security. America's vast military capabilities cast a long shadow across the international arena. Nations feel the pressure to bolster their own defenses or seek alliances, often leading to an arms race that spirals into a cycle of fear and mistrust. The quest for peace may be overshadowed by the need for preparedness against a possible threat, turning friends into competitors in an unwarranted rivalry. Such dynamics prove that the fabric of international alliances is often woven with threads of suspicion rather than unity. Ultimately, this anxious state of affairs underscores a fundamental truth about global interactions. Fear often shapes decisions more than friendship. America, while a country of ideals, operates as a system of power. This creates environments where nations either admire its influence or fear its consequences. In the grand scheme, America is not merely a participant in global affairs but acts as a sentinel, an ever-watchful eye that ensures that the world moves in a direction it can influence. Therefore, it is no surprise that nations across the globe engage in a careful observation of American actions, oscillating between admiration and apprehension, forever conscious of the power dynamics at play.